Hello, Amber.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hi,
Hi, Amber. Hello. So you might notice 1, 2, 3 is missing.
Yes.
So, Pan had a little emergency, so she won't. Well, maybe, who knows? She might surprise us, but as of
yeah, maybe she'll pop in.
Maybe she'll pop in. So let's do a little quick shout out of who's here. Jennifer. This is Jessenia. This name is throwing me off. My daughter's name is Jessica, and I'm like, make me Mimi. There, Fan Amber. Amy.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, you do. In all the cases, I think.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Mary Jean, Judy. Some familiar thumbnails. June, hello. Bright Eyes, hello. Well, welcome everybody. So today we're making spaghetti. No, just kidding. We're working on cookies, and if you guys want to ask questions, feel free. We will do our best to answer you if we can. And if it's in another language, sometimes somebody else can help, but I do French. Amber, do you do another?
Tiny bit of Spanish.
A tiny bit of Spanish. Is it poquito? Poquito, is that it?
See, I don't even, I know even less than that.
Less than that. Hello. Hello. Yes, I think, don't you have a spaghetti?
Yes, an April Fool's video I did a couple years ago. I did a bowl of spaghetti, but it's a cookie.
Yes, so you can go, it's on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned, like, I don't even know, but you're working on a new one, I think, this year.
Well, I don't know, I'm all tapped out. So,
oh, yeah? But you have a few, if they...
yeah, so I might just, like, pick one of those and do that for my kids this year instead of doing, like, a new video.
Okay. Are they asking?
They don't know anything about it.
They don't even know when April is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, there's more people popping on. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So speaking of like holidays, Valentine's Day will be upon us. And so we've been literally sharing the love.
Yeah.
Right? Hello, Lynn.
We should thank our star senders.
Oh, that's on our feed here, we don't see it. You have to have the other window. That's great. Thank you. So, you wanted to, did you say you want to thank the star senders, or you said you got a star?
Yeah. No, let's thank our star senders from last week.
Go for it, Amber.
All right. Let me find this. Okay. So, thank you everybody for sending us stars last week. So stars and Super Chat, it's called Super Chat on YouTube. It's a way to support us. So on Facebook, you'll see a little star icon in the comment section. So you can use that to send us stars. So thank you everybody for sending those. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. And there's a few more.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you everybody. That's so nice and generous of you.
Thank you. And so are you going first?
I'll go first.
You'll go first? So here, let me switch the camera. Oh, and your hands. Switch.
Mm-hmm. So I don't really have like a good example to show, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm doing a watercolor cookie. So the first thing I'm gonna do is flood my heart cookie with royal icing. And my flood consistency is 15 to 20 second count, which means that it takes You take a scoop of icing out of the bowl and you drop it back in. It should take about 15 to 20 seconds to be completely smooth.
So everybody's got everybody's full attention, including Bernie.
Hi, Bernie. So I'm just outlining with the tip 3.
Byron wants to know if you remember him. How could you forget, right, Amber?
Byron, of course. Hello. So now I'll use my scribe tool to bring this a little bit closer to the edge and kind of give it a nicer shape.
So the stars are one-time donations, and signing up to Patreon is a monthly subscription. So you're asking which we prefer. Well, the monthly subscription is obviously like more kind of support consistently, but stars are welcome, right, Amber?
Right, and then with the Patreon you get extra things, whereas with stars it's just kind of like a tip jar.
Exactly.
During our live videos. Okay. Oh, and I also forgot to mention I'm doing a class, a live class.
Is it? I don't know if the picture's up here. I don't see it. Is it?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So if you go to my Global Belly store, globalbelly.com, go to the classes and tutorials, you'll see my live class for Valentine's Day cookies on January 31st.
I mean, that's coming up. It's a Sunday, I think, eh?
Yeah, Sunday. And we're going to be doing, it's for beginners. So we're going to be making royal icing, and I'll show you how to thin it down to flood consistency and how to flood a cookie like this. So if you've never done cookies before, it's a good chance to learn everything about the basics.
And what time you say?
2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m.
Okay, so this is our flooded cookie. So I have some that are dry over here. So I let these dry overnight, so that way it's, totally dry. Because if it's not dry, then what we're going to do next is the color is going to get kind of absorbed into the surface. So it's really good if you're just more patient with it.
And it could crack too, right? If it's
yeah, it could. If you press on it too hard, the icing will crack. So you just want to make sure it's totally dry. Oh, and Kathy's asking the name of the site.
I just had it up. I just had it up. Hold on, here it is.
Yeah. So just go to globalbelly.com, and then you can kind of click through and find the classes.
And also directly on your blog, I would presume you have a link, right?
I can't remember if I put it up for this new class, but if you go to, you could get there from.
They have a search bar, and right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so dry icing. Now I'm gonna I have a piece of wax paper here and my edible ink markers. So these are new so for a while I was using the Chef Master brush pens. Oh, that's nice. Hey, Jeremy.
Oh, those are brushes.
Yes, they're brush pens. So I'll just show you the tip. So the Chef Master ones have been sold out everywhere. So lately I've been using these new ones from Global Belly, which are available in my store. So see how it has that brush tip.
So you foresee doing one in February?
Yes.
A class?
No. The class is I'm just doing one January 31st.
Okay. It's take it or leave it. It has to be that day. Like there's no future class. Okay.
But we are live every Friday.
That's right. Good point.
YouTube. And you're live on Tuesdays as well. right?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Fridays. So, I mean, they can get their cookie quota.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm just gonna do a few little scribbles of marker on here. So this is gonna be like our watercolor base.
This is great because really the kids could do this too, right?
Yes, this is fun. So I'm using wax paper, and I know you've done this technique before on a bag. I've also used a Ziploc bag. I don't have any now, so I'm using wax paper. Seems to work out fine. So in this bottle, this is like a fine mist spray bottle. I have 150 proof vodka. So I'm using vodka instead of water because it evaporates really quickly. So that means that it won't dissolve the icing when we put it on the cookie. So I always use vodka or grain alcohol when I'm painting on royal icing.
Those are those little bottles. I've seen them in the travel section. You know, those little, you know, refillable travel kits there. People are looking for those.
So I'm just giving it a few sprays. All right.
Patty, yes, it can be watched on YouTube.
And this is always exciting because you never know how it's going to turn out. But I'll just lay this on top and just kind of move it around the surface. And you can also do, you know, different colors. I'm just going to do a blue, and because I want to do a pink border here with some icing. But I'm just doing blue. It's very bright on camera. It's not as bright in person.
Yeah, it's reflecting like the white of the cookie, right?
So you have kind of a nice wash of watercolor. And then I'm going to just let that dry for a couple minutes. Just do another one because I'm going to draw on it.
So when you draw, are you using the same markers?
Yeah, I'm going to use those same brush pen markers.
I just want to mention, if you're just joining us and you miss a portion of the lives are all re-uploaded to either all of our Facebook, all of our YouTube channels. So you can go back and rewatch it. Don't worry if you missed a part, you can watch it and catch all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Look here, this is cute. Speaking of really bright on camera, where's Anne?
We're not sure what happened, but she couldn't make it at the last minute.
No, the alcohol evaporates. It doesn't.
No,
it
you
doesn't
can't taste it. Yeah, it's gone by the time you eat it. Well, dripping a little bit over here. Okay.
It doesn't have to be these particular markers, I don't think, Amber?
Any kind of edible ink marker. I just like these because of the brush tips. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with those. Oh, I froze. I'm back.
Oh.
Okay.
Marianne wants to know if you could use multiple colors.
Oh, sure. Yep. You can blend the colors and yeah, do any kind of combination.
There's not a specific kind of alcohol, just a high proof alcohol.
Yeah, so this is, I've been using Devil's Spring 150 proof vodka for a while, which has been great. I've also used Everclear, which is grain alcohol. So just get the strongest alcohol you can find, basically. I leave my cookies out for like up to 2 days. I try not to go longer than that, but it definitely takes, that long to do a cookie. You do the base layer, you let it dry overnight, do the details the next day. Once those are dry, I'll wrap them up. But this recipe has agave syrup in it, which kind of holds in the moisture, so that way you can leave them out for 2 or 3 days without having them go stale.
Well, they're basically sealed at the bottom, right? Because they're on the surface, and then on top, the icing seals it. So it's just the perimeter really that's exposed if you look at it, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's the hard part.
That's right. I think so too, eh? Amber, it would be nice for Easter eggs. Oh, I think she froze. You froze for a moment there.
Am I back?
No, you're back.
All right. So I'm going to write on this. So I spend a lot of time like just doodling my kids' names just for fun. It takes a lot of practice. I also like to watch calligraphy videos on TikTok and Instagram. So I've gotten some tips from those on how to write nicely. So again, I'm using this brush tip. So first I'm just going to go very lightly writing the name, and then I'll go back over it again. So I have my arm resting on the table just like I'm typing, and then I have my other hand here, like keeping my hand steady. So it's just like you're piping, but you're holding the pen. So, and then I also kind of do like, I imagine where the letters are going to go in my head. You can also use your scribe tool to draw it first to kind of get an idea of where everything's going to go. Just very lightly.
Do you think that, I've never done it, but I've seen people do it, use a graphite pencil? I mean, like, it's old, you know, pencils don't have lead in them anymore. I would imagine that it's.
I've definitely seen people use pencil. I'm not comfortable with it. I just don't want to eat pencil, like, you know, so, but people do that. Yeah. So if you're fine with that, then yeah.
I'm just thinking to get like a hairline, you know.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. All right. Here we go. So I'm just using the very tip of the brush right now. Okay, so now this is something I learned in the videos. I'm going to increase the pressure on the downstrokes of the letters.
You see what he wants me to do here? I was working extra hard to be quiet.
Oh my God.
Here, he didn't see, so we'll put him here so that.
Okay. So now I'm just using more of the side of the brush to thicken the letters. So everywhere that your pen goes down is where you want to thicken it. So over here. Okay.
Hello, Justin. Beautiful.
Thanks. And then I will put the little bead border around the outside. I'm using stiff consistency icing. So this is the icing when it comes off of the mixer with no extra water added to that. And I'm using a tip 3, and I'll just pipe a border around the edge. And this is Chef Master Deep Pink.
So the feed is moving. Somebody asked about the markers. The link at the bottom of where Amber's working there, you see Amber's store, that's where you can get those markers. So Amber, would you have, if you, let's say, were not putting a border like you're doing, would you have moved your white icing closer to the perimeter, or did you place it there like that's about where you'd have it?
Yeah, I do that no matter what. I always leave space around the edge. So that way, if the icing wants to like keep moving a little more, it won't go off of the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just like to have a little cookie.
It's a cookie. Yeah. I also am team show a little cookie.
It looks nice.
Yeah,
It
some
gives
people
more dimension, I think.
Well, some people like to take it like really right on the edge.
Yeah.
Yes, you can watch a replay. Everything's saved on YouTube and Facebook. Amber, do you use a turntable?
I don't. I have them, but I just I'm so used to doing it like this. I can't get used to the turntable.
Can Olive recognize her name now?
Yeah, she can, and she writes it too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, she spots it.
So I'll give this to her.
Sydney's name is a little trickier since there's like Olive's nice short name to fit on a cookie. Sydney's a little trickier, right?
Is that a challenge?
Go for it.
The other thing is that I'm not good at capital S. So
I have to say, yeah, the letter that you have to pick, kind of like there's two calligraphy styles to the S, right?
Yeah, we'll just do
Take the line through it.
I mean, sometimes if I don't like a capital letter, I'll just do it in all lowercase.
Are you done?
Yep.
Very nice. Very focused. I had to be quiet.
So now they each have one and they won't fight over them.
Yes, well, I'm sure there's not a shortage of cookies at your house. I don't think they ever need to fight over a cookie, right?
You'd be surprised
Oh, yeah?
what they can fight over.
Well, yes, I suppose.
Well, the fight is usually they want to eat the cookie, but it's not, hasn't been photographed yet, so they can't.
Oh, okay, yes. So Lolita's asking, so you re-explain, like you steady your hand. She's saying about shaking. So you steady your hand like you do with the piping bag with your marker?
Yeah, so my hand, I'll show you in the other, my hand is always over here, and then my forearm is resting on the table.
But even with the marker, that's what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
I think key also, like Amber mentioned, is practicing on paper. You know, it's
I do it over and over again on paper. Or you can use a projector.
Yes.
Do you
And
have
the other thing I've done is, especially if you're doing calligraphy writing, because when you make a stencil, right, it's difficult because you need to have like some parts holding the stencil together, but I've cut only the fat sections of the letters.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
So then you have like only, you know, to kind of fill in your letters, because then you have your fat parts.
Yeah.
And you kind of guess the rest. And then the stencil's not as long to cut because you're only cutting like basically half of it, right? So the markers, yes, on her website. That's
Yeah, so you'll find these are on that Global Belly store.
Yes, you're Jeremy saying the kids want to know, is it for us? Is it for other people? Basically the story of any cookier, right? The kids want to know, is it for us? Well, very nice. Do you have the other one that you showed me? Like just to show it on your ornament shape.
Oh, yeah.
I know it was your prototype, but just to give them like an idea, I thought it was very nice on that shape.
This was my practice from today. I had this leftover Christmas ornament cookie.
But it's really nice on there too. And I need Christmas ornament. I guess you could, you know, like you could make a spring version, put little flowers or something like, right?
Or keep it in mind for next year.
Absolutely. How thick? How thick?
My cookies are 3/16 to a 1/4 inch. I have a 1/4 inch rolling pin, but I use a rolling mat, so that kind of squishes it down a little tiny bit, so it's a little less than a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, I don't really like a super cakey thick.
Right.
You know.
Do you have a projector?
I actually just got it. I just got it. I ordered it on AliExpress. You know, the other day we were talking about AliExpress. Here, let me just add that. I just got it. They range like $300. This was under $100. So far, the problem that I've come across is there's no way to attach it, right, to an overhead projector. So I'm thinking I might crazy glue it onto, no, seriously, I might crazy glue it onto like a thing so then I can kind of attach it to my thing. But so far in my hand, it works just fine. It says Texas Instruments on it. And it's under $100. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Cool. Do you have an Archon mount?
I do have.
Because I don't know if yours comes with it, but if it has a clamp, the back of the clamp hooks up to the mount, and then you can just like grab onto the projector with the clamp thingy.
Yeah, it's so slippy.
Oh, okay.
I didn't find that it was working very well because like it's small, and anyway, so I'm gonna do some prototype or whatever testing with it, and we'll see if it'll be featured in a video to show it. But so far, I don't know yet if, you know, I have to kind of play with it. I haven't used it at all for a cookie, so do we have any? No, I'm not going back to projectors, but just the nature of trying to keep, you know, new content and stuff. I did, when I saw the price, I said, oh, I'll just buy it, and worst case, I'll, you know, chuck it away in my stockpile if I don't end up liking it. Thank you. Yes, I did consider the zip ties. I've actually pulled out this thing here. This is my high-tech thing. It's going to be down and then an elastic. This is the high-tech contraption here. That's going to hold it in position, and that's how it's going to go. It was holding, so. And I mean, if you're in your house, you know, shelf liner around the projector.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I got to MacGyver it.
Yep.
So today, I'll show this first. So here's the cookie today. So there's the cookie today. I had made these cookies a while ago. Always, you're always anticipating doing future things. So it's just a textured mat to get texture on with the dough. I didn't want to have it be actually decorated with icing, just for different, just to switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brushed it with dry gold, and I didn't put the gold over here because I knew I was going to add a little cluster of flowers there that you can see here. So that's just Royal Icing transfer flowers and some leaves. So we'll do that.
So that's the gold paint. You did it dry?
Yeah, I just brushed it on dry.
Oh, it's so nice and shiny.
Yeah, it's because I knew I wasn't going to be eating it. It's, back like when gold like was starting to get trendy on cookies, before there was really an FDA kind of fully edible, all about non-toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's non-toxic, but I knew nobody was going to be eating them. So I'm just kind of using up my non-toxic because, you remember that stuff was just as pricey as the fully edible stuff we're using now. So I'm just trying to use it up so that I don't just throw it in the garbage. So I was practicing making my flowers. I don't do a whole lot of flowers. So if I could just say, if you don't like your flowers, commit to a day or two of actually, like you said, making a whole batch of icing, and I'm just going to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because just like writing or anything on cookies, it's practice.
And they last forever.
And they last forever. I actually went through my Royal Icing drawer, my drawer of transfers. I threw away a bunch of stuff. Like, you make a few extra. Next thing you know, you got 200.
I know. I have a whole cabinet full.
Yeah, and then it was all like bits, that weren't even enough to use on something. So yeah, so I just actually added this. I have to edit it for the Patreon group, but I put a few of them on Facebook in the Cookie School group. You see here, this one's top view, and then I did them like this, which I really like, kind of sideways.
Oh, are you going to show us that?
Well, I wasn't anticipating it, but
don't worry about it. I've never seen it like that.
On us, it's pretty straightforward. It's like you're basically layering. And then here, these are just like cupcakes, mini cupcake swirls. So it's just a variety of flowers you can pre-make. And so like those are pretty much all in my group. I just have to edit the roses. And so I wanted to leave it as much as possible without icing. So I'm starting, I always have trouble lining myself up here. So I'm just like starting where the flowers are going to be, and I'm just doing a wiggly line just to get a bit of icing on the rest of the cookie, but I didn't want to add a ton of icing. And you can, this is just, I was trying to not use icing on this particular. And if you can, because this is the only kind of thing, you want to try to not stop. Because if you do stop, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to get potentially like a bump.
Yeah.
And if you're one of these annoying perfectionist people, you're not going to like that. So it's not a huge deal. You can fiddle with your needle and have it heal.
Yeah.
Should I break it just to?
Yeah, let's see. And the flowers can be made weeks, months in advance. Because once they're dry, they're basically like shelf stable.
And the thing that's great is if, let's say you have a wedding, which usually requires a lot of well, you can make all your decorations like months in advance. As soon as you figure out your color palette, you can get to going, right? And if you're, let's say you want to do the cookies like Amber just did, well, you could maybe do a little plaque like of a Royal Icing circle to write the name on if you were worried, and then you can have a whole bunch and get rid of the ugly ones and glue it on your cookie. Or, like let's say you wanted to write in marker and you don't always write very, very, very well. That's like, the Royal Icing transfers are great for that, right? You can pick your best ones.
Yeah.
So here, I'm just going to work on my surface here. So this is the petal piping tip. I'm using it for the leaves, but this is the same thing for a flower. So if you've ever looked at a petal tip, there's a narrow edge and a fat edge. So the narrow edge, usually, if we're doing a flower here, I'll do 2 petals. You would just kind of have it like a direction like that here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be using actually the other side for the leaves because I want them to look a little bit chunkier.
Okay.
So you can see.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's often they get always used the same way. Your stuff can be used often in more ways than you're used to kind of using it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get into habits and what we see on the internet or whatever, but you can do different stuff.
Yeah.
And icing, royal icing, thick royal icing is almost like, it's not almost, it is sculptable.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And so here I'm turning my piping tip towards the outside, fat edge outside.
Can you move that cookie a little bit?
Oh, I'm too zoomed.
Yep.
Too zoomed. There. I wanted to make sure you guys could see, but it's like one of those what is it? Those macro it's a macro tutorial.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Super. So I'm just doing a jiggle, filling in the area, and then I'm going on the other side to fill in my leaf here. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm taking off the excess water. Oh, that one's too small here. And I'm just going to push in the middle here. Probably too wet. Push in the middle to create like the center of the leaf. And you want to do that before the icing kind of has time to dry.
So that's what you were saying when you can sculpt the icing. You can.
Yeah, exactly.
Sherry joined us. Hi, Sherry.
So same thing here, and rotate to do the other side of the leaf. And again, I'm just kind of pressing my paintbrush into the leaf there to get that kind of like
Very
definition in the leaves. Now here on this one, if you look at this, see these little sprays or whatever you want to call it? That I'm holding the piping tip right. Oh, stuck my finger in the white border. Oops. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm trying to stay in frame. I'm all over the place. I'm holding the piping bag, in this case, completely right up.
Uh-huh.
And squeezing just so that there's a little bit of icing, and then I'm rubbing down. It didn't do it right that because of the texture in the cookie there, but let's try again. So I'm just...
So you're pushing the tip into the icing.
Into the cookie.
Yeah, okay.
And if you wanted, you can come in and like add a line in the middle, but it's the texture that's causing me a bit of a problem here to get the gap to be hidden, but essentially you're just using the tip of the piping tip. The tip of the tip, you see, and it creates like a completely different look than the other one. When I was very young and I didn't know what I was doing with my life, I actually took a florist class.
Oh, that must come in handy now.
Occasionally, but there was all these rules about like the sprays and all this.
Well, that's good to know that for making these things.
And so there you have, and you can switch up your greens too. I find that using only one shade of green makes things look less realistic. If you can kind of like break up your colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the other thing here, let me pick out my flowers. I wanted to do a side one, a daisy, and then this. So I really like the rose there to fill this hole.
We had a question about the color that you used for the pink.
This is Dusty Rose, this one.
Okay, what brand is that?
This is Watercolor.
Okay.
And I'm using the side view versions. Like that. And I like the side kind of, it gives it a different, right?
Really, yeah, I love that.
And now I'm using electric green and just filling in with a leaf tip, like the holes, you know? And you can rest your, don't be scared to like, you're not hiding your flowers, you're just kind of embellishing the, if it's.
Did you add any kind of like paint to that little pink one?
No, it's actually
two different shades.
I had leftover burgundy in my bag, and I just added the inside of a dirty piping bag.
Oh, it looks really nice.
I thought it turned out surprise. It was one of those kind of happy accidents. You know, sometimes you have those. So here, let me do a little reno. I've taken off where I stuck my finger in it. And I'm going to switch now for this. I'll redo it. I just want to show you. I'm going to switch and see if it works. But I'm going to switch my piping tips from one to the other bag. And so they're dirty. Do you understand what I'm doing?
No, say it again.
I'm taking my dark green piping tip off of my bag and taking my light to like electric green. And so we're going to see it's going to like marble the icing eventually. It's not going to do it right off. But here, now it's doing it. I've squeezed it enough that it's doing it. And so now I have remnants of the dark green. So I have to position myself outward. And you see, like it just looks a little bit nice. Like it just gives it a little bit more interest, I find. You know, it's less flat.
Yep.
And then, am I good? And same thing, it's just a jiggle. And I'm going to do the leaves again, or the spray thing. And it's, you don't have to do it. It just takes some color, you know, across.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice little touch.
You know, I was looking at the prototype and thinking it might look nice on a butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you do the top part and then you can have the body be the flowers. There. So let's do some glue. So this is a swirl with Dusty Rose in a dirty burgundy piping bag. And then this one, here's a daisy with little, no, oh, this one's too big. Here, this one's better.
Yeah.
This one here,
the side flowers.
What did you say?
The side flowers, we love those. Like the side view.
Yes, thank you.
That's really cool. And what size tips are you using?
This was an 18, I think. These are made with a 102 there.
And what about the, oh, okay, yeah, the 102 petal tip, and then the leaf is what?
Because the daisy is the same technique as the spray here, right? It's holding the piping bag up, but these are sideways, like a petal, like we did, like I demoed on the surface there before. And now here you can see.
Oh, yeah. So you just switch those tips with each other.
Yeah, I just kind of like switch them up. So it kind of adds a bit of like color to the, you know, the other. And there, because everything was made in advance, you know, it was, where's my middle? Here, I'll take a, just to show you, I'll show you a green, because I have, that's the piping bag I have. but we'll make a side flower with green
Yeah.
icing.
Oh, how about, can you tell us about your cookie school?
Oh, my cookie school is a paid group, so it's $5 a month. And basically it's just, there's like a huge inventory of existing videos. So here's a picture of like some of the Valentine's Day projects. And so I've been uploading videos for a few years now. So there's a lot of like already existing library, and I'm constantly adding to it. And more recently, like I just added the pizza. There's a little pizza there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a work in progress. I'm constantly adding to it.
And that's can you do, is it the same on Facebook and Patreon?
I keep them pretty much the same, just so that it's consistent, so that people don't feel like they're not getting something on the other. So they're pretty much the same. So here's that 102. So you're doing 2 petals. So 1 and then 2, like you would do on a flower nail, like a flower. And then this is the important part. You need to have a ready-made dot. And then you're coming in here.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you've got your little side flower, and you can kind of do a little tuck right here so that it, looks more right. But that's basically the side flower. And so it looks just, I like it on, like one straight and then the side.
Yeah. Very
just
pretty.
Switches it up. So that's it.
And tell us about the gold again.
What did you say?
Tell us about the gold again.
Oh, that gold is not, it was back in the day, the gold that was the best, it was called Rolcum, and that's what this is, but it's not fully edible. It's non-toxic. So it was before people were using gold on cookies.
Right.
It was, everything is pretty much conceived for cakes. And so on a cake, it's much easier to remove a non-edible decoration, right?
Yeah.
In our case, it's kind of hard to remove half the cookie that's a flour.
I know. And then the texture you did before you baked it.
Yeah, that's the raw dough is rolled on a textured mat. This mat in particular is by that edible fabric there, Virgin
Sugar Veil?
Sugar Veil. That's it. Sugar Veil has a ton of different mats, and so I was just, it's like it's not really wood. I don't know what I would call it. It's just basically like lines in it, as you can see there. But I don't really use Sugar Veil, so I was trying to find a way to use my mat that's been sitting collecting dust. I mean, there's like essentially half the cookie basically has icing on it. So if you don't like a lot of icing, it's an option.
Yeah.
Just a different, So that's it. Let me remove. Do we remove and go big? There we are.
Hello, Dad. Watching from work.
That's nice. I don't think my mother even knows I go on.
My mom.
The dot is key. That's right. The dot is key. Very important, the dot. Because if you were to do it with fresh icing, well, you'd have to wait and it wouldn't like squish the same way,
These flowers get pretty crunchy.
They do. I mean, here I have one that, I mean, really, it's like, hold on here, my hand. I'm trying to.
But they're so pretty.
I mean, I'm trying to. Is it?
Watch your finger.
I mean, look, okay. Can you hear it? I'm not going easy on it. The top has, but yeah. Maybe adjust your dentures, but they can be taken off. But there's nothing like the look. It's about the look, right? In so many cases,
you can eat around those.
You can and you could pick them off.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, it's a weapon. But yes, they are hard. They are hard. I don't know. I mean, royal icing is, that's why I write. This is why it's such great stuff, because it goes from liquid to solid. Right?
You can do anything with it. That's why it's so great.
Buttercream flowers, well, you could, absolutely you could, but forget about stacking or packaging.
Yeah, it's much easier to eat, but you can't ship them or put them, you know, wrap them up, none of that. So that's why it's nice to do the royal icing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. If you're making them for your like table at Easter, let's say, and they're going to be only on your table, then yeah, I think it's, you know, but.
Yeah, like, so if you can do one that has like a lot of flowers on it, and then the rest of them for eating, you just do simple.
Well, in this particular case, it's kind of the best, because let's say they eat around this, like they still have, you know what I mean? And then, you know, like you still have part that doesn't have a lot. Like you don't put 50 flowers on, like 3 is already a lot. Like when you put roses, usually it's like 3, 1.
3. Yeah. 1 or 3.
Yeah. So
they do dissolve in your mouth. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not trying to kill anybody.
Right. Marlon's face.
Oh gosh.
Do you have your? Yes.
It's Montreal Confections.
No, Montreal Confections, yeah.
You see what Jeremy wrote?
You're gonna start a fight.
And then this. Thank you, Jeremy. I mean, the thing is really, you can achieve things with royal icing that really there's nothing else can.
I know. So if anybody does add corn syrup, I don't. I've never tried it, but if somebody knows how much to put in, you can let us know. Have you ever done it?
I did a little squirt and I didn't see anything happen, so I've just.
Oh, okay. Patricia uses 1 to 2 tablespoons.
I mean, it's and then the other thing I've seen people put is God, my brain. I have like seriously like these huge memory lapses. I can't even. My brain's completely shut down. But it's like a product that makes the icing softer. I got it in the UK. And they put it in their royal icing.
Powder or?
It's a liquid. It's like geez, it's gonna kill me.
So it seems like a lot of people use 2 tablespoons for 2 pounds of powdered sugar.
I can't even find it, but it's like a product that you put even in soap. Glycerin, June, yes.
Glycerin.
That's it. Glycerin. That's the thing.
The fire alarm is going off. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yes, glycerin. That's right. What is this? I did it in kids' class when students swapped. Oh, they put corn syrup and.
Oh no! Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think the for 2 pounds of powdered sugar is the 2 tablespoons. Bye, Sherry.
Oh, bye.
So that's it, I guess. Right? So next Friday, more Valentine's?
I think so. I'm not decorating next week, so.
Oh yes, it's your week off, so you get to look around with Jeremy.
Yeah.
And Helen will be. I think it will be Valentine's. I've got a few cookies cut there, so we'll. And I mean, it's may as well milk it because it'll be over in a flash, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Amber. That was fun.
That was fun.
Well, see, Tiffany wants more Valentine's. I mean, really, with the quarantine and everything that's happening, it's a great way to kind of deliver some love, right? You can kind of make the cookies and do a little drop by and show somebody that you care without having to actually like exchange physical space. Like you can just leave them and go. So I think it would be nice. So thanks everybody for stopping by. I'm on Tuesday if you want to catch another cookie kind of therapy, and then
we've been having other guests with you.
Amy, yes, Amy's been on, and she's a bundle of energy for sure. So she shared a cool technique on Tuesday. If people want to rewatch it, I had never seen it before. I don't think you've ever seen it before. It was, I have to say, she was pretty clever.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
It was pretty good. So thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
And bye.